All right. So today, what are we going to do? We're going to be talking about dividing with decimals. Dividing with decimals. We have been dividing without decimals for a week and a half now. 2 weeks. Remind me the steps that we would use to divide. Abby. Oh, we would make our little house, okay? So we always put our total, and our total is actually got a name, the dividend. And then you would put the number that you're dividing by that curve. So you could put your each, or you could put your group out here. And that is actually called your divisor. And then you would actually say how many groups and so then you begin your process of dividing, multiplying, subtracting, checking. Every marker I pick up today is just not a good marker. It's a lousy marker. And then we finally bring down until we don't have any more numbers to bring down. And so when we get this piece right here is called your quotient. That's right. And we know about does McDonald's sell cheeseburgers, because we've been doing that. Okay? We've been doing all of those things. So today's major change is going to be that what do we do when we have a decimal in our total? What do we do when we have a decimal as an inside our dividend? What do you know? What do you already know if you know? JJ.
I treat every other place.
You just treat it the same? Okay. Zach?
I'm pretty sure if you have like a full decimal number, if you divide a decimal number by something, I'm pretty sure if you divide a decimal, it's like multiplying.
Well, it depends upon what we're looking at. So let's take this example today. So let's make an example. You'll need this example, so you want to take good notes, because this example is actually going to be one that you're going to use on your practice page in a minute. And so our example is 37.20. This is some money that we're going to divide by 6. All right? And so whenever that happens, what we would do is we would build our little house. We would stick the number 37.20 inside of our house. I'm going to actually throw this marker away because it's getting annoying now that it's not the one that's writing correctly. And we're going to divide by the number 6. Okay, are you ready for this?
Yes.
This whole time when we've been dividing, I said, hey, place value is important, right?
Oh yeah, you said
Place value is super important. Here's why. You're going to take the decimal and you're going to pop it up right here, and you're going to divide like normal. Divide like it wasn't even there.
Okay.
So if I'm dividing like it's not even there, then I'm going to make my top-bottom chart. Now, I know some of you are getting to the point where you're like, man, I know my multiplication facts. I've got this division thing down. I'm doing really well. You can probably drift away from your top-bottom chart. But for those of you who are still struggling a little bit, you need to be making a top-bottom chart. Here's a good, if you are making 100 on yesterday's quiz and you feel confident, I say you can drift away from your top-bottom chart, okay? If you did not make 100 yesterday, then for a few weeks I want you to continue making the top bottom chart just to keep everything straight. So we're counting by sixes. So on the left hand side we are counting to 9. On the right hand side we're going to count by sixes. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42, 48, and 54. And we're going to cover like we have been in the past. How many groups of 6 are in the number 3? 0. How many groups of 6 will get me to 37? 6. 6 times 6 is 36. I can confirm that by thinking over here. If I have 37 and I subtract 36, how many are left? 1. Bring down your next number, which happens to be 2. And how many groups of 6 are in the number 12? I've already got my decimal. How many groups of 6 are in 12? 2. 2 groups of 6 is 12. 12 minus 12 is 0. 0 is less than 6. Bring down your 0. How many groups of 6 are in 0? 0.
That wasn't that hard.
It is literally the same thing, except we just have a decimal in the middle, right?
That's easy.
So you think you can handle this?
Yeah.
Let's do one more. We're going to still divide by 6. So this right here, this example, this is going to be your number 1 on today's work.
Okay.
So there's no need to have to do that one again later. The next one where you're dividing by 6 on today's practice happens to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 5. So we can go ahead and put number 5 in here also. And for number 5 we have $33.60
Can you move your paper up?
being divided by 6. So let me move this up a little bit.
Thank you.
So the very first thing, I can't stress enough because place value is super important, is you want to bump that decimal up first. Then you can forget about it. If boys and girls don't bump it up first, then they tend to forget about it and then it changes the whole value of the number. So always bump it up first. So that decimal is going to go right here. It doesn't change, it goes straight up. That's very important. Okay, so since we're dividing by 6s, we've already got our top bottom chart. So how many groups of 6 are in the number 3? 0. How many groups of 6 are in the number 33? And 5 groups of 6 is 30. And 33 minus 30 is 3. 3 is less than 6, so bring down the 6. And we get to start all over. How many groups of 6 are in the number 36? 6. 6 times 6 is 36.
And then 36 minus 36.
You get 0.
Bring down the 0.
Bring down the 0.
Minus 0.
I am recording. How many groups of 6 are in the number 0? There are 0. And 0 times 6 is 0. So we get $5.60. So here are some things I want you to know. While this is very easy, this is just basically kind of touching on the edge. There are some things that we will have to talk about after Thanksgiving, but for the most part, if you have a dividend with a decimal, this is how we're going to do it. There are a couple of times where we may have to do a couple of extra things when we have remainders, but that will be saved for later. Today's practice looks like this, waxy wonders. here is your number 1 right here. When you get this practice today, you're going to divide and you're going to find your answer. My answer is 620. So I'm going to look for my answer over here on the right. And then I'm going to need a ruler. Please? So making sure you use your ruler. Our answer is, again, 620. I'm going to find 620. I'm going to go from point to point. And if I go from point, 620, just like that. Oh, looks like we're going, yeah. Yeah. Okay, so now we have some letters. And it says, the line will pass through a number and a letter. Write the letter above its matching number at the bottom. So this would be number 5, and what letter goes with that?
G.
So I'm going to go down here to the bottom to number 5. I'm going to put my G. So basically we're decoding a message. Okay? All right, our next one was dividing by 6. So I believe it was this one right here, 3360 divided by 6.
Yeah.
And we got $5.60. So let me find that. It's right here. So I'm going to match that up carefully. In fact, I might would just, yeah, you could do these one at a time. There you go. If you're not careful, you'll end up getting 2 letters at once. So that's going to be 9 and T. So go to number 9 and write a T. Okay? What questions can I answer for you?
I don't have a question.
Okay, here's what I want you to do. I want you to practice this on notebook paper. I want your notebook paper attached to your Waxy Wonders practice when you're done. Okay?
Can we use more than one?
You can use more than one.